Welcome to Flashcards Fridays on Math, Science, History. I'm Gabrielle Burchak, and today we're tackling a subject that's both urgent and empowering: how each of us can play a part in conserving our oceans. If you had a chance to listen to our podcast on Tuesday, I interviewed Gillian Darcy Wood, who wrote this incredible book. These are all my flags. But he wrote this book called The Wake of the HMS Challenger, and it takes place in the 1800s. But it also is future looking, and it talks about the importance of conserving our oceans. And so today I thought I would just continue the conversation. The ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. It produces over half of the oxygen we breathe and supports a rich web of life that makes our planet habitable. Yet it's under enormous stress from overfishing, warming waters, acidification, and perhaps most visibly, plastic pollution. Today's flashcard lesson is simple, but it is mighty. Small actions matter. By shifting our habits, especially around plastic, we can protect marine ecosystems and, by extension, our own future. So, why do oceans need us? Well, first, the big picture. Oceans regulate Earth's climate. They do. They absorb about 25% of the carbon dioxide we release from burning fossil fuels. And they capture 90% of the excess heat trapped by greenhouse gases. If the oceans didn't do this, Earth would be already far hotter than it is today. This is natural service, but this natural service comes at a cost. Oceans are becoming warmer, more acidic, and less hospitable for coral reefs, for shellfish, and even tiny plankton. Coral reefs alone support about a quarter of all marine species, and we are losing them rapidly. According to the United Nations Environmental Program, scientists estimate that if current trends continue, 90% of our reefs could vanish by 2050. Now, add plastic. According to Ocean Conservancy, every year about 11 million metric tons of plastic waste enter the ocean. That's the equivalent of dumping one garbage truck of plastic into the ocean every minute. If nothing changes, that number could triple by 2040. Plastic doesn't just float around looking ugly. It breaks down into microplastics that enter the food chain, meaning fish, seabirds, turtles, whales, and us. That's right. The takeaway here, well, the ocean is resilient, but it has limits, and we are pushing them. Okay, so what does plastic really do? What is the big deal with plastic? Okay, let's take a closer look. Entanglement. Sea turtles, seals, dolphins, and birds get caught up in discarded fishing nets, six-pack rings, and plastic bags. These can cut into their skin, restricting movement, and even lead to drowning. Ingestion. Okay, many marine animals mistake plastic for food. Sea turtles often mistake plastic bags for jellyfish. Seabirds feed bits of plastic to their chicks, thinking it's nutritious. Whales wash up with stomachs full of plastic debris. The plastic doesn't digest, so it fills their stomachs, leaving no room for real food. Okay, let's talk about microplastics. Over time, sunlight and waves break plastics into pieces smaller than 5 millimeters. These microplastics are everywhere in seawater, sand, fish, tissue, and even sea salt. Studies now show microplastics in human blood and our lungs. The long-term health effects aren't fully known, but the evidence suggests that they are harmful. Chemical toxins, let's talk about that. Plastics can release their own chemical additives, such as plasticizers, and can absorb environmental pollutants like pesticides and persistent organic pollutants from seawater. When marine organisms ingest these particles, both the particles and their associated chemicals can enter tissues and, in some cases, move up food webs to people who eat seafood. That is right. Scientists have documented microplastics in edible seafood tissues and plastic particles in our blood, in our lungs and placentas, underscoring that exposure is occurring. Ongoing studies are quantifying how much of the chemical load in humans comes specifically from ingested plastics versus other sources. In short, plastic isn't just an ocean problem, it's a human health problem. So what can you do? Here's where you and I come in. While large-scale action is essential, individual actions also add up. Each shift we make reduces demand, sets an example, and creates cultural momentum. It really does. So here are some powerful steps that you can take. 1, cut back on single-use plastics. Say no to plastic bags. Carry reusable cloth or canvas bags for groceries. One reusable bag can replace hundreds of single-use bags a year. I use those little bags that you can fold up, really tiny, and I put them in my purse. It's a non-issue. I always have a bag with me. How about this? Bring your own bottle. Americans buy about 50 billion plastic water bottles a year. A stainless steel or glass bottle eliminates thousands of disposables over its lifetime. Okay, what about straws and cutlery? Refuse them. Unless you truly need them, skip them. If you do, carry a reusable metal or bamboo set. Okay, let's talk about this. Rethinking your shopping. Believe it or not, that changes things. Choose products with less packaging. Buy in bulk when you can, or look for items sold in cardboard, glass, or metal. You can also support plastic, sea-free brands. Many companies now offer shampoo bars, toothpaste, tablets, and refill stations for cleaning products. It's awesome. Shop local farmers markets. Fresh produce often comes without the shrink wrap. Reuse and repurpose your stuff. Before tossing something, ask, can this be reused? Glass jars can store leftovers. Cloth scraps can become cleaning rags. And old t-shirts make great grocery bags. Also, you can dispose responsibly. Check your local recycling guidelines. Many items people think are recyclable, like plastic bags and greasy pizza boxes, often aren't. Participate in cleanups. Beach, river, or neighborhood cleanups are awesome, and they keep plastic from entering the waterways, and it's a great way to get out of the house and socialize. Also, advocate and educate. Support legislation. Many places are banning single-use plastics, mandating bottle deposits, or requiring producer responsibility. Add your voice to the mix. Educate others. Share what you know on social media, at schools, in conversations. Change spreads person to person. It really does. I've seen studies on this. And then reduce seafood waste and choose sustainable options. Nearly 10% of ocean plastic comes from fishing gear. Choose seafood certified by organizations like the Marine Stewardship Council, or cut back on seafood altogether to reduce demand. And finally, think beyond plastic. While plastic reduction is key, remember, conserving oceans also means reducing carbon emissions. Walk, bike, or use public transit when you can. Save energy at home. The less CO2 we emit, the less stress on the oceans. So, what are our takeaways? Let's boil this down to 3 points that you can carry with you. First, oceans are life. They regulate climate. They produce oxygen and feed billions. Protecting them protects us. 2, plastic is persistent. It entangles, it poisons, and infiltrates the food chain all the way to our bodies. 3, small actions add up. Refusing single-use plastics, reusing what we can, and supporting systemic change make a real difference. They really, really do. So the next time you are handed a plastic straw or see a product wrapped in 3 layers of plastic, pause and ask, is there another way? Oceans may seem vast and invincible, but they are telling us loud and clear they need our help. And here's the beauty of it. By making these shifts, you are not just saving marine life, you are saving future generations of humans who rely on clean water, healthy food, and stable climate. Thank you for listening to Flashcards Fridays at Math Science History. And until next time, carpe diem.